Welcome to EdCafe. My name is Ashutosh Bhardwaj, and today we have Professor Felix Hamed, who is, joining us from the university. He's a chairman of that university, and we would like to, talk about education and technology together in the field of higher education, specifically with Professor Felix. So, welcome, Professor Felix. It's so nice to meet you today on the call.
Thank you very much, Ashutosh. It's also exciting to be part of Ed Cafe to share some experiences that we have. I'm reaching from Ghana, as you said, and also the chair of Dominion University College, which is one of the premier private university colleges in Ghana. And I chair the council and provide some leadership in that respect.
Thank you so much, Professor Felix. So, how we start is we would like to understand about your experiences and about your journey so far, so that our viewers are enlightened using your wisdom and your leadership. So, would you mind to tell us about yourself and your experiences?
Okay, thank you very much. My background is real estate or land administration. That's where I had my first degree, and then worked with the government of Ghana's Lands Commission, which is the central body that regulates land purchases, land registration, and so on and so forth. I pursued master's in business administration with the University of Hull in UK, and my specialization was information management. At the time we did our program, the internet was very new and technology hadn't advanced this much. And it's exciting how technology has rolled on and become almost part of our lives, and we cannot do anything without technology today. I pursued a postgraduate certificate in teaching and learning in higher education, specifically how to organize higher education programs, how to teach, the motivation of students, the philosophy around teaching and learning, and how programs can be well structured to have the best of impact. Following that, I became a fellow of the British Higher Education Academy, which is the highest global institute for higher education professionals. And I became a fellow in 2007. And I have remained so up until now. My first academic work started with the University of Wolverhampton in the UK as a lecturer and promoted to a senior lecturer, and then eventually to an associate professor with the university, championing programs in the area of real estate, developing a lot of academic programs and conducting research. I was also primarily involved in teaching research methods to postgraduate students. And then when I resumed in Ghana, appointed as a professor in charge of the Faculty of Business Administration for Pentecost University College at the time, but it's no longer a college, it's now Pentecost University, where we provided some leadership in transforming the provision of business education in the country. Now we're working with Dominion University as I'm currently the chairman of the governing council, providing strategic leadership and how to transform. Now, as I said, Dominion is one of the premier private universities in Ghana, and has its own model of education, which I'm sure as we progress in this discussion, we will touch on them and see how that tallies with the technology era in which we find ourselves. Thank you.
Great, Professor Felix. Thank you so much for your introduction. I see that it is such a diverse experience which you have, right from real estate to higher education now, and you are providing the strategic leadership that actually help us in shaping this conversation further. So as you rightly mentioned that technology is an integral part of everybody's life now, and everyone needs to be well versed with the technological tools what we have in the market. So let us start our conversation from the global technology practices in the universities, which universities are following globally. So there are two specific systems like CRM and the ERP, which are the integral part of a university or a college in current era. So how do you think that these two systems are helping universities managing their operations effectively?
Okay, that's interesting. I think without technology, no university will be relevant in this era. Universities that are not digitizing or taking a digital by default approach to the delivery of higher education will be relevant in the shortest possible time. It's they actually the problem with this new era of technology is the conflict between technology and education itself. Education must dictate the technology that it uses rather than technology dictating what educational institutions must do. And that's the problem because technology is available, educational institutions plug in and kind of work within the technologies that are available. In the case of ERPs, for example, we have Oracle, we have all one of ERPs, SAP, and all that will help in delivering some complicated educational programs and track the analytics for educators to move on. But it's often the case that when these packages are brought in, universities structure everything around the software and the way programs are, content are put together, delivered, accessed, and everything has to do with what is in it. But Dominion University, we're doing something rather different, which is very interesting. We want the technology that we use to be dictated by our educational model and not the other way around, and which is very interesting. If I may explain a little bit, and we employ all these technologies that you have mentioned, but we try not to get ourselves fixed in a box. And I think that's what universities must look at and move on. For example, with Dominion University, we have an educational model that is based on 5 pillars. And so our technology must reflect those 5 pillars necessarily, because without it, then our educational model will not be rolling. We can't roll out the model correctly because technology is shaping how we should do that. For example, we have our first pillar is trustworthiness. And then the second pillar is experience. The third pillar is authority. And then we have success, and then we have expertise. Now, our ERP and CRMs and learning management platforms and everything must help us to deliver the model, the 5 pillars, so that we can move forward. And if time permits, I'll explain how those 5 pillars dictate the technology that we use. And I think that the global educational landscape must keep that in mind so that education will actually be delivered and will dictate the solutions, the technological solutions, rather than the technology dictating how education is delivered.
Correct. I completely agree that education should be the one who is dictating the technologies so that it helps us in terms of effective operations. May we know that what are some of the ways you would find out to network with the pool of alumni, because alumni are the integral part of any universities, and any university would like to engage them for various events, for various technological advancements as well. So are there any ways in your mind like how we can network with the pool of alumni?
Yes. The fourth pillar of Dominion is success, and it is the success of our graduates as well, success of our current students as well as our graduates. And so our technology and our approaches relates to ensuring that whereas graduates have left and moved on into other areas, we still keep track and still ensure their success, even in the world of work, whatever they do. And so we connect with them that way, ensuring that we offer them a way back into the university to update their knowledge, upgrade their thinking, whatever is stopping new things in short courses, 2-week courses, programs like that. We are now setting up a unit that will champion the success, because our model was just recently launched. But we have a director of student affairs who is also responsible at the moment for the success of our alumni, wherever they are. Without alumni feeding back to the system, without our alumni reconnecting with their alma maters, universities will lose their relevance, because the education is not just the 4 years or 2 years that you stay on campus. It's a lifelong journey. And once a candidate selects a particular university, it's for life. And so the university must have a system to ensure that the community, because they are part of the community of the institution, and that community must be taken care of, whether or not they are on campus. And that journey must go for life throughout. And so, yes, it's very important. But our strategy is to keep rolling out executive education courses, short courses, and letting them in to study for free, so their education becomes continuous. And whilst in the workplace, we keep them sharp. We get them the latest knowledge, the latest technology, until they continue to perform, even in the workplace, whilst they're not longer with us. Yeah.
That's a great initiative that you are, launching the free courses and crash courses for the alumni just to help them engaging with the universities. So in today's era, like, the industries and academics are being collaborating with each other very effectively. So universities are reaching out to the industries and they would like to have the collaboration happening together. So how do you think that how can universities in Ghana collaborate effectively with technology companies like ours in India to promote research and innovation?
Yeah. So again, our second pillar is experience. Experience means also that we must be globally aware. We cannot sit in our own corner and feel that it's Ghana. It is no longer Ghana as far as education is concerned. It's a global community. And it's important that we connect and network with companies that are doing very well. So we imbibe those knowledge, and there'll be exchanges, mutually beneficial arrangement between universities and their partners, external partners, to exchange ideas, exchange knowledge, exchange perspectives, exchange students, new technology, get involved into new research areas between themselves, to expose more and get student travel abroad to have some experiences there, understand how work is done in other communities and other countries of the global world. And so, yeah, definitely networking and partnership is central. I can't see how any university today in a globalized world would perform its function as an educational institution without having its community interact globally. It has to be a global community. It has to be a global educational framework. And partners like yourselves will definitely be useful to universities this way, same as you will also benefit from partnering with universities in this part of the world. There are cultural differences, in fact, not just technology, there are cultural differences, there are work ethic differences, there are a whole lot of things that are happening that you wouldn't know if you sit just in your country. But as you partner, as you share ideas, as you're exposed to new learning, new technology, new development, then the education becomes relevant. In times past, you don't need to, you may not need to, but now you can now afford not to be part of it. It's an impossibility.
Right. Together, we make some changes. We can bring up some changes in with the help of academics and technology. In the same context, what strategies would you recommend fostering meaningful partnerships that benefit both academics and industries?
Yeah, okay. So we training students not just to know, we're training students to become. And academics are knowledgeable in your space, but they may not necessarily be practitioners. Now, so if you're training students for a practical world, it cannot just be done in the classroom. You need the practitioners, you need industry to also handle that aspect. So you have to divide the education into classroom and industry and get your student, even your faculty, to be part of the industrial work, industrial arena, much as your students also go there. So that's the kind of education that we need in the 21st century. It's not a classroom-based education because we are not preparing students to become classroom-based. We are preparing them to be in the real world. And so 50% of their study must be spent understanding what is happening in the real world. Doing models like internships, doing models like practical job placements, hands-on models like getting industrial experts to come into the classroom and discuss what happens in the real world and how things are done. All these strategies will help students get ready for the real world of work. And until we do that, it will be very complicated and very difficult for our students. We may produce students that are knowledgeable, but can do nothing. They cannot do. But I think the real world is looking for people that can do more than people that who only knows. And in Dominion, we have our own saying that we're not focusing too much on knowers, we're focusing on doers, so that when you're done, they can do what they have become. Yeah.
Right. So we would like to have the experiential learning in place so that everybody is having the experience and they are able to perform the job, whatever has been assigned to them. So since you're talking about the skill development and the technology education, so let us discuss more about the technology education and skill development programs. So how do you see the role of technology education evolving in Ghana universities, especially in terms of meeting industry demands?
Yeah. To be honest, it's moving very fast in Ghana and in across Africa. Technology education is moving very fast. It's being adapted. There's no university without a technology-based education across Africa. there has to be some computer science. It's inevitable. And this is very important because there are more job openings in the technology arenas than the skills available to fill those jobs. And that is why technology must lead in higher education. With all these things that are happening now, e-vehicles, AI, robotics, data science, everything is revolving around technology. And we must prepare our students for that world, for the world where technology will be the way to go. And so, yes, technology education must be up. Even though I said Africa is doing well, I think that there's a huge room for us to develop our technology education. It's not, in some of the universities, it's not up to what you see elsewhere. It's not the intensity, the nature of the programs, the content, and the skills that are developed and how the skills are developed. It needs to be improved quite a lot so we can fit properly into the global world of technology.
Great to hear that. And I'm sure that for the emerging technologies, you must be having some programs or some, skill building programs in your university. And would like to understand what kind of initiatives you have taken in the university which have been successful so far.
Okay, so at the moment, we run a computer science with management program, which is like a big omnibus program that allows specializations in different lines, on different lines. But what actually we're planning and what we're considering, and I think that all universities must consider, is to have partners from the practical arena. So we have some partners that have a suite of programs in AI and robotics, and they have the experience, the expertise, and the teaching packages. So we're partnering with them so they can deliver those programs in Ghana. They're not based in Ghana, but we have that arrangement where those programs can be delivered through the Dominion University College in Ghana. And it will not just benefit Dominion University College students, it will benefit practically the whole country. And Dominion University attracts students from across West Africa, mainly, in fact, and beyond. And so once we have this kind of partnership and an arrangement, which is the strategy we are adopting, we will serve the sub-region, not just Ghana, we'll serve the sub-region with new emerging technologies and new partnership and new things that are happening across the globe.
So, as you mentioned that there is a blended programs of technology and management that will help innovate the people or the students and encourage them for the entrepreneurship. So let us talk about the innovation and entrepreneurship in the Ghana University. So what opportunities do you envision for encouraging entrepreneurship and startup culture among University of Ghana, particularly in the tech related fields?
Okay, so to be very honest, there's a lot of room scope for developing technology innovation in Ghana. There's a lot of opportunities and scope. As you know, technology is very diverse, and no single institution will have the full breadth of the skill set that is needed. That's why this ties back to the partnership arrangement. That without good, solid partnerships in these areas, and without good research base into new emerging technologies and innovations and innovative thinking, it's so challenging. And that's the strategy that new universities or the universities must look up to get into innovation properly, not just teach programming and computer science, but also prepare a crop of students and lecturers that will be innovative thinkers. They will think creatively, come up with something that is tailored to our very conditions in Africa, something that addresses our problems directly in Africa. And so that's probably the next big thing for us to do. But surely it has to be based on some kind of partnerships with industry, some kind of collaboration with industry, and to get it going. Yes.
So I was saying that we are talking about more on the innovation and AI and the new emerging fields. So what kind of strategies do you recommend for the universities so that they can better support student-led innovation in the field of technology?
Okay. So for Dominion University, what we're looking at is to set up a center for technology innovation. So it will not be a straight cut, a degree program thing, but it's a lab for innovative thinking, innovative ideation, developing new thing. A free thinking environment is an experience lab, is a makers lab that we're thinking of establishing. And with all these things, students will have the free, and because such a center will be in collaboration with other practical computer science or industry-based partners, students will have access to a lot of technology expertise and new knowledge to develop their own new thinking and then create new solutions that are tailored. So with Dominion, that's what we're doing. We will set up that center specifically for technology innovation and will be resourced. And we will have leaders in the industry leading it. And then we will establish some kind of mentorship program between the young and upcoming technology innovators with experienced technology innovators globally, so that they can be also mentored and guided in technology escapades.
So of course, now for all of these innovations to support, we must need the infrastructure and digital transformation in place. So what are the main challenges and priorities in terms of infrastructure development for university in Ghana to facilitate the digital transformation?
Yeah, it is a very challenging but doable arena. It's, of course, money is hard to come by everywhere, but there are also funding around the globe, research funding, funding to support such infrastructure, funding to support innovations and thinking, particularly funding to support youth entrepreneurship development, youth technology development, youth, and so on. So we are developing a center that will focus mainly on grant applications and pursuing grants based on ideas that we are coming up with. And to those funding will support the infrastructure and will also impact society directly.
So how can technologies companies like ours contribute to enhancing digital infrastructure in the African universities?
That's interesting. India has advanced so far in technology and doing well. In fact, recently on the 10th, we had a program and I did a case study on India. I didn't even know I was going to be on this program. I did a case study on India and some of the leading technology firms, global technology firms, led by Indian people of Indian origin. And it's the place to partner. It's the arena to learn from. It is the partnership. So with a technology firm like yours, we'll be very glad to have solid partnership. And probably with what you've done so far in India, if you will replicate it in Africa, the impact will be great, and it will support a lot of our young people that are coming. Our people are very brilliant and intelligent, but opportunities to work with experts, the opportunities to work with mentors that are already ahead is what is lacking. And so when we have a partnership with the organizations like yours, surely the impact will be amazing. And that could also support the development of further infrastructure to make sure that we reach a lot more people with our technology, with our skills training, and have better influence. And as I said, Dominion University attracts students from across Africa, and we have students from everywhere in Africa joining us. So once you partner with an institution like Dominion University, you reach in Africa. Ghana, as you know, is one of the peaceful African countries. It's a democracy, and the people are welcoming. There's no violence around Ghana. It's been peaceful ever since we can remember. And it's a place to invest. It's a place to put some of this, your knowledge, so that we can grow here from Africa. Now, I need also to mention that Ghana is not just peaceful, but Ghana is the education capital of Africa. And that is why most students come to Ghana. Either they go to Europe or they come to Ghana from Africa to have the education, because the education capital is being so for a very long time because of the level and the quality of education that is offered. The regulations around education is respected globally. And so partnering around Ghana also adds to the credentials of your organization.
Absolutely great to hear that. And of course, we shall be happy to leverage our experiences, what we have in India, and to be applied in Africa for the technological advancements and the innovation in the field of AI and infrastructure itself. So let's talk about something related to the adapting to the global technological trends. So how can universities in Ghana stay updated with global technological trends and ensure that their curriculum remains relevant and competitive as per the global trends?
Okay. So as you may know, universities are highly regulated. The industry is highly regulated, and it is very rigid, not very flexible at all. Technology is developing, if you like, annually, but university programs cannot be reviewed annually because of regulation. So once you set up a program, it has to run, even if technology has gone past it, we still have to work with it for 3 years, sometimes 5 years before it reviewed. But what strategy we adopt is the continuing learning approach, where we offer short programs, we offer interventions, we offer corporate training, we offer executive education, and programs that are within our control and are very flexible and can keep pace with the rate of change in the technology arena. So that's our strategy, and that's working, because once we roll out, when there's a new technology and we roll out, within a couple of months, we can start educating and we can start passing it on whilst we wait for the regulation to run out on the existing programs.
So what role do you think should international collaborations with institutions like ours play in this regard?
Yes, it's to in the partnership with institutions like ours in Ghana, because you are ahead in technology, your role will be technology leadership, providing us with a skill set, providing us with the platforms that students can learn from, providing that kind of technology infrastructure that can be relied upon to deliver the top end. Our role in that partnership will be to get as many people to benefit from that offering, and open up the market, provide local infrastructure if needed to deliver the space, the labs and things that we can provide locally, so that your expertise, which is central, your expertise, your technology, your platforms will be what will be needed to have that collaboration.
Great to hear, Professor Felix, and your vision and mission in the field of education is definitely will help Africa to grow up further. Would you like to share anything else, like whatever you might be facing as a challenges, or maybe your future roadmap?
I think it's great having this discussion with you, and we look forward to a greater interaction and collaboration on several fronts. Ghana is doing very well in the educational sector, and Dominion is pushing ahead. Our vision is to be the leading institution, private university in Ghana, and take it up forward. And we will need all the support and partnerships and collaborations that is available to get us going. And we're committed to that task, and we're pushing. And that's why our 5 pillars have been recently launched, which will be the model of education that we're going to deliver. And then I'm sure that your organization will serve that purpose well and serve the world by partnering with us.
Great, Professor Felix, and appreciate your time and support, and your wisdom and your vision is surely will help us to grow up together in collaboration with Ghana universities. So thank you so much for joining today's conversation, and really appreciate your time on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and I hope that we'll have further interactions and further discussions. And also, as I said from the start, I'm hoping that we being in the specialized educational environment will also help in the development of the technology for higher education from education point of view, from an educationist point of view, how the technologies should be advanced and developed to have better impact in learning and teaching. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.